temp chains is just so awesome. Hey, there's two. Hey, double divine, dude. Neato. 5 div. Up 6, dude. Let's get another. This shit's fucking crazy, boys. We're so fucking back. Oh my god. Oh my god. What are we doing? There we go, dude. Bro, there we go. Hey, another one. What's going on, boys? Got another quick one for you here today, and I just kind of wanted to real quickly go over the update to my Magic Find Lightning Arrow. I have added in Cadiro's Gambit. I'm a huge fan. You know, it feels like you drop more divines and all that kind of stuff. It's not, you know, crazy and they're raining from the sky, but it does feel like it has improved my Magic Find, and it has definitely improved my unique drops. So I'm a huge fan of this. The item is a lot of fun. And I just kind of want to go over kind of the few adjustments that I made. This will be a quick video. If you need to kind of start this build from scratch and you think it looks good or whatever, refer to the original video. I will link that in the description, and use the main mobilytics. Once your build is very, very powerful and you're into the end game, then that's kind of when you want to switch over to this quiver. Reason being, you need a very, very powerful bow to make up for the loss of damage when you remove a normal quiver. So this is the quiver that I use in the initial build guide. So as you can see, it is very, very powerful. The +2 lightning, fizz, damage with bow skills, but this isn't crazy expensive either. You can find a decent one here for, you know, a handful of divines with +2 and some good lightning and stuff like that. So nothing crazy, but this is the quiver that you would use while you're leveling the build. Once you have a nice bow with some additional projectiles, I would recommend at least 2. So a Gemini bow with at least 1 additional arrow, and then some, you know, crit chance, attack speed, some other desirable mods, just because, again, you will be losing a lot of damage when you swap over from a normal quiver, because this does a lot of good things, and it is more damage than you would think. But because the arrows are just kind of flying all over the place and stuff like that, but you do need to make sure you have a very strong bow. So I just want to reiterate that. Make sure you have a very powerful bow. Otherwise, just follow the main guide until you do have a nice end game bow. But as far as Cadiro's, one of the things that I wanted to express kind of right away was that I did end up disabling my Herald of Thunder. The reason being is I don't want anything other than my arrows to be getting kills. Because this, as a common misconception, I think there's a lot of confusion around this. But if you look at this, so Covetous, enemies killed with Covetous arrows drop enemy items with 600% increased rarity. So each arrow fired is one of these things, right? And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. So you essentially have, for each arrow, the odds are, it's not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed now. Let me keep that. It's based on odds. So you have 6 options. So each arrow has a 1 in 6 chance to have the Covetous arrows for the increased rarity. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? 1 in 6 odds. So if you're shooting 6 arrows, your odds are 1 of those are rarity. There's a chance that 2 or 3 of them are. There's a chance that none of them are. So it's all based on odds, just like in any other gambling or any RNG, anything like that. It's totally based on odds. Now, the last thing is, for the item rarity arrow to work, it has to be the arrow that delivers the killing blow. That has to be the one that gets the kill. It can't like hit it and then get hit by a different arrow, by a reversing arrow or whatever, and the reversing arrow is what kills it. The rarity will not be applied. So I just want to make that clear, is that it is not just because an enemy got hit by one does not mean you're going to get a better rarity drop out of them. It has to be the killing blow, the arrow that actually gets the monster to die has to be Covetous to take advantage of the 600% increased rarity. So again, you're already like, oh, well, you know, that doesn't seem like it's going to, you know, it hits more often than you think. But you also have to remember that that's why I really removed Herald of Thunder from this version of the build, because I don't want anything stealing that 600 rarity. I want as many chances for that to hit as possible. And your Herald of Thunder is going to be based solely on your player item rarity. So whatever your rarity is on your actual character is what it'll be based off. So I have 144 rarity on my character. So that's the amount of rarity that if Herald of Thunder gets a kill, that's how much I get based on the kill. So I didn't want anything, and that's another reason why your bow needs to be very, very powerful, because you're also giving up some clear. You kind of get it back with this because you have, splinter and reversing, and there's things just traveling all over. So that kind of, you don't miss as much there losing the Herald when you switch over. You just miss kind of flat damage. So again, make sure your bow is really nice. But I do want to preface, that's really as far as skill gems go. I do remove Herald of Thunder, and I actually swap out a Nerverate with Lightning Infusion. So in the previous version of the build, Lightning Infusion is in Lightning Arrow, and a Nerverate is in Herald of Thunder. Now I use a Nerverate in Lightning Arrow. So that's the only difference in skill gems. And then as far as the tree, we made a couple adjustments because you don't need increase effect of Quiver. You don't need this anymore when you're using this Quiver because it doesn't do anything. The only thing that it would affect would be the attack speed, and I have mana per enemy killed, so it would benefit those two, but that's not worth using 3 points. So what we end up doing is we lose the gem that we had here. The reason I had a mana on kill, and then for a little while there I had an increased effect of Quiver. Either way, I was able to remove them because I have mana on kill here, and I ended up going with a Mind Over Matter from Nothing Diamond, which then allows us to take those 3 points out of the Quiver and move them into Breaking Point, All Natural, and Storm Charged. I had Storm Charged as my Anoint, but because now we put a point there, I moved my Anoint to Overwhelming Strike. So that is the only difference the only differences from the main build. So no Herald. We swap 2 gems, a Nerverate and Lightning Infusion, and then we swap out this gem. We take these 3 points, we put them here, and then we swap our Anoint over to Overwhelming Strike. So that's that. So I just kind of wanted to go over it real quick and my idea and what my thought process behind why I removed the Herald, because I've had a lot of questions. People keep seeing it off and they're like, why is it off? So that's why. It's just because I simply don't want anything else that isn't an arrow to take away my chance of getting that rarity on Covetous. So with that being said, I'll leave it at that. I said this was going to be a quick one. Again, links in the description, all that. If you're starting this build from scratch, don't start with this Quiver. Start with the main Quiver, a normal one, and just get it leveled up to level, 90, something like that. When you have yourself a nice, good, strong bow with good damage and a couple extra arrows, you can switch over to Covetous and start juicing your maps, turn off your Herald, all that kind of stuff. But again, I highly recommend you start with the other main setup because it is as you can see, it's a very easy switch, and you will be a lot more comfortable leveling with the main version. Let me just show you in the Mobalytics real quick. So this is all here. Video is in the Mobalytics, so if you want to watch that, this is the main video. And then, so we have the main right here. This is all the main and what I was using and all the stuff. And then the Cadiro Gambit Quiver swap. Again, I did want to preface, it is not available in Mobalytics yet, so it doesn't show anything here. But I've noted here, you can add it. I will update it when it's available, but just don't freak out when you go in and you're like, oh, he's not using a Quiver. You can't add it in Mobalytics yet, so that's why it's not, you can't see it. But it's all here. Again, the gems are here in the order they need to be, and then the tree and the changes that I made, are in the thing. So that's that. And if you guys need anything, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Come check in in the stream if you have questions. I've been streaming every day, so that'll do it. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, guys.